This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Mike Murphy.
Thank you, Charlie. Yes, I am Mike Murphy, host of the Good Neighbor Podcast. We interview local business owners and influencers. We like to allow listeners, those of you here in Northern Kentucky, to know local business owners as human beings, and not just a logo on a business card. So today I have with me a gentleman named Ed Sowders, correct, Ed? Ed Sowders?
It's up.
He and his wife, Shannon, are the owners of Kentucky Home Creations. And it's a business that I'm learning about right now with the rest of you. So we'll Q&A our way through it with Ed here today, so he can let us all know what he's got cooking with Kentucky Home Creations. Ed, welcome to the show.
Murph, thanks so much. Glad to be here. Can't wait to dig into this deeper.
So let's start digging in. Kentucky Home Creations. If somebody were to ask you in the elevator, hey, what do you do? What's your little elevator pitch on Kentucky Home Creations?
So Kentucky Home Creations, we create handmade heirloom blankets, baby stuff, bibs, and etc. We also perform machine embroidery, professional machine embroidery. We're able to create things from scratch, such as handbags, also totes, receiving blankets, placemats, tablecloths, a lot of stuff for the home, pillows, etc. Pillowcases are a big thing right now, but that's pretty much the run of the gambit of things that we have done over the past few years. We also do some repairs, depends upon the situation. We don't really take on all repairs, but we can take on some things for our customers.
So if I'm hearing you right, everything is basically textile driven, correct? It's fabric.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're customizing things. So one of the things you mentioned there is blankets, baby blankets, you may have said. I could see that being a very nice gift to give to somebody. So do you do one-offs like that, or do you prefer things to be done in mass?
Well, to be perfectly honest, we only do one-offs.
Okay.
We don't really mass produce anything because we're requested to create things that are unique in nature. Not only is it a baby blanket, but it's something very personal. I mean, it's in the world of heirloom baby blankets. That's something that you look back upon. That was my baby blanket when I was a child. It has my name on it. It has a saying that my grandmother picked out for me. We have a lot of folks who will choose a phrase. Hey, I want to put this phrase on the baby blanket with their name on it. Okay, we can do that, no problem whatsoever. One thing that makes us unique is that we do our best is that on our baby blankets, they are two-sided. So there's one pattern on one side and there's a coordinating pattern on the other side. My wife Shannon is fantastic at coordinating, and we will actually embroider one side of the blanket and then cover it with the other so it doesn't rub on the baby's skin. And the stitches themselves are soft. So everything is unique and one-off on every single thing we do.
Okay. So it doesn't just look nice, it's very functional too. Okay. So those are things I hadn't even thought about, the rubbing on a baby's skin. So you guys have thought about that. Okay.
We have.
So I asked about baby blankets just because that's what stood out to me. But if somebody, so any given week, is there a most popular category? What do people come to you for most often?
It is a run of the gambit. We also make unique handbags and purses. We've had some requests for a specialized material to make a purse out of, or maybe a special type of tote to carry to the beach. Hey, I want this thing to stick out so that I can find it. I want it to be mine. Hey, can you make that out of this type of material and put my name on it and put a panting dog on the side of it? Absolutely, no problem whatsoever. Hey, can you make me a matching backpack? Absolutely, we'll make you a matching backpack, and we'll have definitely something unique. A beach bag with a matching backpack, we got you covered. No sweat whatsoever. So yeah.
Wow. All right, that's very cool. Do people ever either deliver to you to incorporate in something, or can you provide a a photograph transferred onto fabric that becomes a part of collectible? Is photograph a part of things that you do?
It is possible. However, though, the issue with transferring a photograph on into embroidery, the problem is that most photographs are very detail oriented, lines and such. If it
Hmm.
is small, it doesn't transfer very well. It doesn't do a very good job. However, though, if it's very large, we're talking like a jacket back, like across the
Okay.
back, that does okay. We would prefer that if you were to select an icon, what, and it may not be an icon that we currently own. We may be able to reach out and find an icon that they're looking for, such as like an eagle. Maybe they want an eagle with their
Yeah.
spread or something like that. We have multiple resources where we can go grab an item like that, and we can kind of mock it up, and then the customer can review it, look at, hey, yeah, that looks great. Well, then we'll stitch it out and make it happen. Um,
Okay.
but like I said, you talked about pictures. It doesn't really transfer very well.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Mhm,
It's nice that you can at least do a little consultation and somebody comes to you with a vision and you're able to give them options and
mhm.
figure out a way to provide something that I think, your stuff's intended to last a long, long time. Keepsakes
It
that
is.
maybe
Mhm.
stay in the family for a while, huh?
Absolutely, and we use high quality material. We're always using 100% cotton. We very rarely use polyester, just because polyester shrinks a lot
Yeah.
in the wash. You would think cotton would shrink, but the quality of cotton that we use, we don't experience any shrinkage whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my wife kind of is always looking at labels and saying, no polyester in the house because polyester ends up stinking. You
It
know,
can, indeed, it can. Yeah, I feel your pain there for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So she's 100% cotton person, and I'm sure a lot of people who are going to listen to this are feeling the same way. So, what about you mentioned I think like beach bag stuff or
Mhm,
just things that are going to be outdoors. Uh, are
mhm.
some of these fabrics are they color fast or is fading just an inevitable part of what you got going on? Like, what's that look like?
Well, once again, it kind of depends on the usage and the application. If we're going to be using something that's going to be outside a lot,
Mhm.
we have a coating that we can actually spray on it that'll help prevent
Okay.
it. It's something that's it's readily available. I mean, you can buy it at anywhere. I mean, I would recommend it for anything that's outside for any length of period of time. And if you wash it, you got to recoat it. Spray it on, let it dry. It's good to go. Um, we also do a lot of sports teams hats and such. Like the Bengals and the Cincinnati Reds, and we do a lot of Steelers, but we can't be team loyal around the Sowders household. That's for sure. But
Okay. Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, we do a lot of scenarios, that we can actually put a protective coating on the material. We don't like to do that per se because over time it does kind of take away from the actual item.
Hmm.
But we will do it upon request, and plus it's quite expensive to do as well.
Okay. So again, I'm learning right along with our listeners. So this is all new information to me. So um, I speaking of sports stuff, I'm a Michigan football fan. So
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier that you've got acres and acres of fabric that you've invested in. I would assume that some
Yes.
of that is maize and blue, go blue, Michigan
Mhm.
colors.
Mhm. Yep.
But I would imagine that because people are just so passionate about their sports, that is, or at least could be a very big category.
Believe it or not, it is one of our biggest sellers.
Mhm.
Bengals, anything Bengals here in the Northern Kentucky area is just huge.
Yeah,
My wife makes a couple different of the Bengals totes. They're a tote bag. Carry your stuff in and out of the game. We have some clear bags that are stadium friendly with the Bengals logo on it. And that way you don't have to get the search thing going on when you go through the metal
yeah,
detectors. Same thing for the Reds. We got some stadium friendly bags as well for the Reds.
good idea.
But yeah, the sports teams are just they're huge. I mean, we've done the what was it? We did Miami, Florida University of Miami, the Gators down there. We also did Georgia Tech, and we've done a Duke, and we've done a those just want to run off the top of my head. I mean, we've done so
Yeah.
many that it's beginning to lose my train
Mhm.
of thought.
Well, possibilities are endless. And
Yes.
um, yeah, if somebody wants a special keepsake, uh, you know, geared around their favorite team, point is they can come to you and you'll have plenty of options for them to choose from. Do you have a favorite category in terms of what you and Shannon have produced for people?
My favorite thing to create myself is I really enjoy making the purses and bags. And the reason why I do is because sometimes they're a little tedious to work with because depending on the size of the bag, plus the material is really thick. A lot of it's made of vinyl and canvas. Like I said, really durable, stuff. These items are made, for ladies to carry, back and forth, and utilize on a daily basis. But that's kind of my favorite thing to create.
Okay.
Shannon enjoys making the baby blankets and the placemats. And she also likes making the bags as well. But she's always coming up with something new, like what is the she's working on a dish towel pot holder thing now that you hang over your stove handle, and it's more decorative, but it's also functional in the same way.
Okay.
And she's trying to put that together, trying to get that idea off the ground as well. But like I said, there's so many things because we run through so many different times a year. Obviously this time of year we're beach bags and backpacks and stuff like that. But as we get into the colder months, people start talking more about blankets, and we also have pet blankets. So
Hmm.
for your dog or cat or whatever animal you may have, we have blankets that are suitable for them in a pet pattern. So that they can have their own blanket when it gets cold out. So I mean, it just kind of runs the gamut of different things that we run through the year. Especially now once we get into September, we'll start pushing the Thanksgiving and the Christmas stuff. And then once we get through that, about midway, we'll start pushing Super Bowl stuff, and we have some pretty neat Super Bowl stuff as well too. So
Okay. Well, that's all very cool. And I think, as we talk, people are imagining some of these things and they would like to see them. I know you have a Facebook page. Is that correct?
we do, we do, yes, we
So
do.
if people go to your Facebook page, I'm assuming, is it Kentucky Home Creations is the name of the Facebook page?
That's correct. In Facebook, yes, indeed. And just search it out. We'll pop right up.
Okay, good. So people can see some visuals of what you're producing. But
Mhm.
you have a website that's kind of on the near horizon, correct?
That's correct. We're currently in development stage. We're almost finished with it. We had the domain purchased. We had that all squared away. All that technical stuff is ready to go.
Okay.
Right now, we're merging the online store and also the website together, so folks can buy directly from the website. We got a little hurdle to kind of get over that because of our program that we utilize to accept credit cards. There's a little bit of a disconnect with our website platform, but
Okay.
it's going to take another little bit to get it squared away.
Yeah, e-commerce is great, but it's it's also got to be done right because
Indeed,
it
indeed.
can be a very frustrating experience for the consumer if it's not.
Mhm.
So yeah, make sure you've got all your
Oh,
ducks
most
in a
definitely.
row
Yeah, most definitely.
before you go live with that. But that's good to know that
Mhm.
people will be able to come and actually see things, get ideas, and purchase directly right off the website.
Sure.
And you live here locally. You're in Independence, correct?
That's right. Beautiful downtown Independence, Kentucky, right here. I was born and raised literally about 3 miles over my shoulder. My
Okay.
dad's place was the matter of fact, where my home sits right now. I used to bale the hay with my uncle, my cousins, and my dad in this field where my beautiful home sits right now.
Wow. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of people who know you very well because you're homegrown.
My wife gets very frustrated at me when I'm out and about. People say, "Ed, oh my gosh, good to see you. I haven't seen you forever." I know, man. Always somewhere, somebody knows me from something.
Okay. Well, that could be good or bad, but we'll just put that in the good category. You seem like a great guy. So
I
um,
appreciate that. Thank you, Murph.
so Shannon, you and Shannon, you live locally. I assume that you've got children. Is that correct?
That is exactly right. Yes, sir.
Probably not little children. You and
No,
I,
no.
you and I appear to be close in age, so your kids are probably grown, eh?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, my youngest one has finally flown the coop, as they say. She just recently graduated high school, and she'll be headed in the armed forces. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
She is, like I said, the youngest of the brood, and like I said, she's moving on to her own life and better things.
Okay.
Um, my oldest, he lives here, right here in Crittenden, Kentucky. He did used to live in California for a hot minute, and he recently moved back out here to a beautiful state of Kentucky because we have a much better philosophy on life. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to
Yeah.
get my middle son to move to up and move out here to Kentucky, but it's a little bit harder for him to move out because he does have a our granddaughter is out there. She's only pushing 3, and
Okay.
they have some stability issues out there that would not really prevent them or not really provide them an avenue to move here to Kentucky. So, but hey,
Okay.
hopefully one day.
Yeah. Well, that's what cell phones and computers are for, to be able to at least stay in touch when somebody's halfway across or actually all the way across the country. You can stay in touch with them.
All the
But
time.
yeah, well, maybe you'll get him back in Kentucky again, because you're right.
Hopefully,
This
we'll see.
is a beautiful place to live. We came down here from
Indeed, it
Michigan
is.
20 some years ago. Gosh, about 30
Mhm.
years now, I guess. And
Wow.
love Kentucky.
Mhm.
Love Michigan, but love Kentucky as well. Beautiful place to live.
Absolutely.
So, what is Shannon's background? That I know, she is kind of the owner of the business. You're the face of the business on this podcast today, but it's her business. So, what got her into this?
Well, that's a little bit of a lengthy story. I'll try to make it brief.
Okay.
Her mom is a seamstress by second trade, and she has been into sewing and embroidery for probably more than 50 or 60 years. Her mother has actually worn out 3 or 4 multi-needle embroidery machines over the years. Shannon has recently got into it in the past 7 years, I guess, about 7, 9 years now.
Yeah.
And she's kind of been doing it on the side mainly because it was a connection point with her mom, and it just made sense. Well, she began to be, very astute at it, very good at it, and she decided to make the leap and buy her first embroidery machine, which was a single needle. Uh, Basically wore that thing out, and we decided to make the jump into buying a professional grade 10 needle embroidery machine, and that just kind of veered the ship down the road of textiles. And we had the collective idea of, hey, let's see if folks want to buy this stuff that you create, because this beginning to pile up around here. And
Yeah.
I know you like making it, but it's kind of getting in the way around here. So we started selling some stuff at shows, and there we go. So that's kind of the
Okay.
story of it.
Yeah. Sometimes a business finds us. Something that you enjoy
Yep.
doing and you're passionate about, just eventually becomes a business. I can imagine, if you're a creative type and you're making these things and you're, carrying them about the community, people say, "Hey, where'd you get that? I want one too." And so,
Yep.
hence a business is
Yeah.
born.
The ladies at church, we attend Seven Hills Church over here in Florence,
Okay.
and the ladies at church, I don't know how many bags and purses that Shannon has created for folks. Basically, she individuals will come to her, hey, can you make a bag like this, and with this pattern? And Shannon will go, well, let me look, let me see what I have available. And once again, the creative juices start going between the customer and her, and they start working it out. And when the technical details come, or hey, we can't figure out how to get this handle on here, or we can't figure out how to put this, then that's when they come see me, and I can usually figure those things out for them to get those, get the pieces of it to make a strap or make a handle or get the bottom skirt
Right.
or whatever. But I mean, baby blankets and I mean everything I mentioned before. The folks at church have just been very gracious as far as you supporting us in our business. That's the great area with that we enjoy.
I would imagine that you would attend local craft fairs and things like that, right?
We most certainly do. We do. We do. We're most typically at the big one at the Ryle High School for the cheerleading a cheerleading event, and
Yep.
then we're also, matter of fact, coming up on August the 2nd, we'll be in Florence at the festival that's going on there and the car show there in Florence on August 2nd. We'll be there. We'll also be at the Boone County cheerleading event coming up in, I believe it's at the end of October, I believe. Don't quote me on the date on that one, but we typically are at both of those shows every year.
Okay. So people can go to your Facebook page and you'll make sure that they know where you're going to be upcoming.
Mhm.
When you
Yeah,
get that website launched, you'll do the same, I'm sure.
that's exactly right. As a matter of fact, the show here in Florence, it just kind of popped up on us here, and we actually forgot about it. Shame on me, webmaster. So I need to get that up. I need to get that up over the weekend so folks know they can
Okay.
find us out there.
All
And
right.
so yeah, we'll have updates, and produce them on Facebook first before they go anywhere else.
Okay. So when you go to a craft show, since so much of what you do is kind of customized, do you just sort of have a few samples that you carry around, or do you have a photograph pitch book? How do you operate?
So ultimately, we do have some stock items. I mean, they are all unique. They're all one-offs.
Okay.
And basically, they were um, scenarios where my wife Shannon would look at something like, well, those two would look pretty good together. I think I'll make a baby blanket out of that. But then she would create it, and she goes, that looks fantastic, and then she would fold it up and stow it away, and then she'd move on to the next one, and that's kind of how it kind of snowballed.
Okay.
And we do a backlog of, like I said, custom, unique stuff. They are one-offs. There are some that have, like I said, for example, like a baby blanket, side A, side B. There may be another one that has side A, but it has a completely different backside, side C or side D. It would be similar, but not identical. But yeah, we do have stock and product that we can sell at the shows,
Okay.
that are they're not customized as far as like
Right.
embroidery names or something like that. But if someone were to pick something up and say, I really like this duck print, do you think you could
Hmm.
you could customize this for it? Well, absolutely, we can do that for you, 1,000%. And we can actually take that very same one. We can put their name on it, fill out an order form, and what they want, and we can actually deconstruct that particular item, put on the embroidery whatever they wanted, and then reconstruct it. That is a possibility as well.
Okay. Or somebody could just walk up and say, "Hey, I love that color blue. I love this bag. This is beautiful. How much you want for it?"
Exactly. Or they say, hey, I got this blue jean jacket on. I really want to put this on the back of it. Okay, great. We'll set up a point in time where we can sit down and talk about the specifics, and we'll make it happen. They're providing the item, and we'll provide the decoration.
Perfect. Well, sounds like a lot of fun, and I wish you guys very well with the launch of the website. I look forward to meeting you in person. Um, I'll come to a craft show and uh, we'll get to shake hands, see each other face to face. Looking forward to meeting Shannon. And before we go, is there anything we haven't talked about that you would like people to know that we haven't discussed yet?
Sure. There's a misconception out there about what we do. Um, the A lot of people, when they think about customized products like this, they think of they're being very expensive.
Hmm.
That's not the case. Our typical baby blanket, it will sell for somewhere between 19 and $20. If it's embroidered, we're talking no more than 30. So, and unless you're doing something really extravagant, a typical embroidered hat, I mean, it sells for between 15 and $20. Our items are very affordable,
Hmm.
and there's a misconception out there. Oh, they're talking custom, must be really expensive. No, no, we're realists. We don't gouge. Look, we may have 3 hours in creating this from start to finish, but we have a flat charge that we charge for that. And that's the other thing too, is if the customer comes to us and we give them a quote for something, whatever it may be, run the gambit. And if we say X amount of dollars, and if we spend 3 weeks trying to create this thing, we still only charge them what we quote. We don't go back and say, we really messed up on that. No, no. What we quote you is what we bill you. And we do things fairly.
Okay. Well, I could see people, because those prices seem more than fair to me, quite honestly.
Mhm.
They seem instinctively maybe a little less than what you would expect to pay. So I wouldn't be surprised if
Exactly right.
somebody were to say to you, "Oh no, I want to pay you more." So the business
Well,
consultant in
Murph,
me says, if somebody wants to pay you more for what you're doing, do it.
Well, Murph, that's the thing is that we have now. I will tell you that we do have some bags that border on $50 or more, but
Okay.
we also have some bags that are they're $16, $18, and once again, it depends on the material, it depends on the design, what all goes
Mhm.
into it, and it's all about trying to. I want the not I, but we want the customer to be happy with what they
Yep.
have. If they're happy with it, then we're happy with it. Then they're going to tell more people about it, and
Mhm.
then we can we can continue to grow our business. We're a little discouraged, honestly, on our Facebook page because we haven't received a bunch of likes or a bunch of follows. I tell you what, we're at the point where we're about ready to start offering discounts for likes and follows on our Facebook.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can't get some more eyeballs on that page.
Absolutely.
Right, my friend. So that being said, we're done with this episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Everybody out there, make sure you go to Kentucky Home Creations Facebook page. Give them a like and follow. If you want to reach out to Shannon, the number you can reach her at if you have questions is 916-532-1075. And other than that, just be prepared to see a killer website in the not too distant future. So everybody out there, thanks for spending time with us today. Until the next episode, this is the Good Neighbor Podcast. So everyone out there, be good to your neighbors. Ed, goodbye. And the rest of you out there, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Union. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpunion.com. That's gnpunion.com, or call us at 859-651-8330.